All right, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Fourever Rivals. Oh, listen to us, mate. Look at us. Am I correct to say this is the first time that all four of us have been winners on the same show?
Yeah.
Has it happened?
Yes, correct, buddy. Yeah.
You wouldn't be far off at all.
I don't think there might have been the draw, or there might have been a couple that we had buys and that, but I don't think we've all been a winner.
No, the three of you have been absolute losers most of the time. And welcome to the winning party, gentlemen. All I can say, welcome.
Yeah, we might be losers. We might be losers in football, but you've been a loser the whole time, full stop. So I'll rather take loser as a footballer. Here we have one of our favourites. Good evening, guys. And Matula. We love Matula.
Matula, watching you, Matula.
We've got Blue AFL, Kunda Baggers. So how's everyone going on this fight? Oh, first of all, let's get straight into it. Happy birthday to Mark.
Happy birthday to Mark. Happy birthday, Mark.
Happy birthday, brother.
Thanks, guys.
How old are you, mate? How old? Tell it the people know.
Yeah, it's a milestone, isn't it? 50. I actually never thought I'd get to 50, to be quite honest. I can remember when I was 18, 19, 20, 21. Mate, it goes so fast, doesn't it?
It does go so fast, man. Before you know it, mate, you're 50. One day I'll get there, but at the moment, you know how it feels, mate.
Yeah, look, 50 years old is good, mate. Life begins at 40 or 50? 50, I think it is.
I take it you would have maybe taken the family to Schnitz at Northland.
All right, so while we're there, good segue. You're starting to get better. So here's Gokan. He's the owner of Schnitz. He says, "Good evening, gentlemen." He is the owner of Schnitz Northland. So let's quickly talk about these things here. Have a look at this, mate. The schnuggets. Now, like I've said to everyone, if you like lips and assholes, toes, feet, bit of hair in your nuggets, you go to all the other places. But if you want some real chicken bits, and I'm talking chicken breast, you go down to Schnitz in Northlands and get those nuggets down, you mate. How good are they? How good are they?
Fantastic. Hey, Mark, you've got Quinn, I don't know what's going on, mate. You haven't even become a member, so we won't even bother with you. I don't know what's going on Cotton Road. Or is it you that's the member and Mark's not the member? One of you is not the member. What's going on? I'm starting to lose it with you, both of you.
It's the birthday boy. So he's now.
I'm a member, Manny. I'm a member now, mate.
I apologise, Quinn. I apologise. Of course, it would be Mark. You know why? Because they're too busy looking for some...
We got Lucky Jack here. This is a backhanded compliment here. Happy birthday, Mark, you drug injected beautiful man. So we love that. We love how and look at this. I just want to say hi. Oh, look at this, Mark. Haven't heard from this bloke for a long time. I think he put himself on a band.
Yes.
4 big wins, 4 big images, 4 big and here we go. Welcome back to. Everyone knows him as Mad Dog, so he's back by the look of it. Happy birthday, Matula! Happy birthday! We're getting a lot of happy birthdays here.
Thank you.
What's this one here? Straight into a Manny. Collingwood are going to lose, so we've got that going on. What's going on here? No regrets. Hi, Rocco. Oh, he's back this week. Quinn Stinko's dog is up to where the sun don't shine. So straight away he's gone in. Mark and Quinn is straight away gone into.
No regret. Missed out last week. He missed out last week. He had a busy schedule, but he said he was coming back with vengeance this time round. So the three of you need to be ready. Just be
Wow.
That's what I can tell you.
Let me just say about no regrets. He's been saying that every week, and his comments are about as intelligent as your comments. So really, they do nothing for me. But while we're talking about that, right? While we are talking about, first of all, I keep bloody what am I doing here? Let's just show this for a sec. Everyone like, subscribe, become a member of the Jumper Punch. Everyone get on, click, push the subscribe button, then move over and join. And just push, tell me guys, how hard is it to subscribe? You just push the subscribe, it doesn't cost you anything. You just subscribe and then you get notification. And with the subscription, you get 17% off Snit. So it's a deal you can't miss out on. All right,
It takes a whole 17
into
to
this
do.
one here. I think I've got something here. All right, everyone's been asking for the Manny Reserve. So I've had to make the right smaller because we continued on. So we just added a couple more. He thinks that the natural arc is play on, even though the rule's been out for like 8 years. So there you go. And wants to keep the draw because of the betting. So he reckons that the betting is more important than the game itself. Plus, we've got all the others here. Still hasn't gone to a game. Still is not a member. Still thinks it's better to watch it on TV.
I like how you twist things around for me there, Rocco.
I can actually put the replay if you want.
I actually was trying to support Mark because Mark was saying about the fact that however, you know what? That's fine.
Don't support Mark. See what you've done. You've copped yourself because you tried to be too smart.
That's all right. Hey,
don't do it.
Big shoulders. Big shoulders. Here, my friend, I can take it.
Mate, you need to have big shoulders because, gee, the stuff that you come up with is unbelievable. But anyway, the mannerisms just keep getting bigger and bigger. I think it's become a big part of the show, the mannerisms. All right. Now, let's get into what we're here and what we're all about is this one here. Now, on Saturday, we got a big party at Mr. Marco's place. Yeah, so he's turning 62. I think you should be retiring soon. But anyway, so I think some of that music is going to be pumping on that.
You feel like riding a horse, like the Slick, that movie, the Slickers. City Slickers, where you're just on a horse and just galloping along, having that music in the background.
100%. I reckon there's going to be some video footage of us after midnight, I reckon, and it might be shown next week. So everyone join in next week to see some moves. All right, so let's talk. Let's get into this. The first big news of the week, of course, has been the sacking of the first coach this year, Mr. Stuart Dew. First of all, there's a couple of questions about that. First of all, the way they did it. And the second one I want to get into when we got time is how relevant are the Gold Coast? Does anyone even care? But let's just go into the sacking of Stuart Dew.
Well, they're smart because they've looked at the fact that, he was given, nearly 6 years, didn't really produce much. So then they thought, and you know what? Mark called it. Mark called it on the show. He was the first one to call it on the Fourever Rivals when he said that coach that left Richmond potentially would be looking at flying abroad interstate. And you know what? I reckon they've done it because they want to get Hardwick, show them that they've got some interest to get him on board. I reckon that's going to happen pretty quick.
Could be. I think definitely when your team's not playing well, and to tell you the truth, I can't even believe that Stuart Dew's been a coach for so long. I mean, really 6 years of absolute just failure, and he's still there. But I think that when a big coach either retires or leaves, I think that pushes that decision a little bit sooner than what they want, because they want to get straight onto the front foot. So what do you reckon, Quinny? Because they're talking about your ex-coach there.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I don't think for me the issue is the fact that they sacked Stewie Dew. Like you said, Rocky, probably lasted longer than a lot of people thought he would. I think it's the way they went about it, where they came out to the media and they reassured the media that Stewie Dew was their man till the end of his contract. They told Stewie Dew behind closed doors that your job is safe, don't stress. And then 24 to 48 hours later, they've sacked him. And yeah, look, Dimmer's probably the man they're going to go for. I think that goes without saying. Is the most available and probably the best coach that's going around at the moment. So he'd be silly not to go for him. But yeah, I don't like the way the Suns went about it with Stewie Dew. I think people's livelihoods and and all that are on the line. Instead of blatantly lie to him 24 hours earlier and then come out and sack him the next day, I think was a bit rough from the Suns.
I agree, and I just think sometimes clubs don't do these things right. You know what I mean? So it's happened over the years. They just look, fair enough. You got to make the hard calls. You got to make the decisions. And I agree, man, you got to be a hard nut, man, to run a football club. But you should be showing some respect to someone who's given their time to your club. And there's nothing wrong with that. And letting someone leave with some dignity. How's that sound? Is that a good word, dignity?
Yeah.
Very big word. Very big word. I think one thing as well that would have been shattering for a few of the players is I'm pretty sure some of the players that did re-sign last season to go on for the next couple of years did so with the intent of having Stewie Dew as their coach. From all reports, he was very well loved within the playing group. So you wonder how it's going to affect the team as well now that he got sacked so unceremoniously.
Yeah. Mark, you came up with it. You thought that he was going to – what do you think about the whole scenario? And about sacking of coaches in bloody general.
I reckon it'd be pretty disappointing that if Hardwick coaches Gold Coast next year, in that short amount of time that he left Richmond. So he's obviously left Richmond personally, what I believe is that because they wouldn't make the finals. I don't know what's the case or not, but to go and coach another club next year, I think it's a bit of a scapegoat to the Richmond supporters. He should either, stay away from the game for another year or two and then maybe go out and coach another club. And what Manny was saying that I did suggest that Hardwick was going to probably coach him, but I've got another inkling that maybe Ken Hinkley will coach Gold Coast because they haven't signed him yet at Port Adelaide. So just a little bit of a...
even after, let's say Port Adelaide make preliminary, because I think it looks like they're going to make a preliminary at least, and then from there we don't know what's going to go on. Yeah, so you reckon even after a preliminary he'd be off to like a Gold Coast, who really are starting at the bottom?
Yeah, why haven't they signed him? Why haven't they signed
I don't know.
So maybe
because I think they were unsure too this year.
Well, sign him up, get him going.
Well, maybe he doesn't want to sign him. Maybe he might decide he might make a retirement. He might retire. He might say, you know what, I've had enough of that. So you just don't know. You just don't. I don't think he'll go to. I don't think he'll leave Port Adelaide to go there because I think it's also got to do with the fact that if I'm not mistaken, he played for Port Adelaide. Stuart, didn't he play for Port Adelaide?
Stewie did, yeah. Stewie did,
yeah. So
he wanted to play with him.
So maybe maybe that sort of won't be a good thing as all of a sudden. But then again, it's a business, isn't it? You got to look at it.
Someone goes as if to say if Hardwick can just leave automatically and just go right, that's it. Because I look at it as if to say like Richmond weren't going to make the final, so I'll just leave and then go to another club.
No, I don't agree. I don't agree, Mark. I reckon what's happened is he's probably had some type of disagreement with someone at the club, and because he's been so loyal to the club and the players loved him, I think what he did was he sort of thought, you know what, I've got issues with maybe one or two people in the club, but that shouldn't be me blaming the rest of the team and the club, so I'll just get up and leave. And I think the way he did it was brilliant. And he showed
Richmond have won the last 4 and the last 5 games without Hardwick. So You know what I mean? Like he's left.
I
and they're
don't
winning-
look.
they're
I don't
winning
know.
games.
I don't know about Hardwick. I don't think he left because I don't think they were going to make the finals. I don't think he was like that. There was no need. I don't think, man, he loves his team, mate. I'm telling you, he's
Of
close
course.
with those guys. I thought there's other reasons. I'm telling you, I reckon he was just spent. But what I've noticed with other coaches, and Alistair Clarkson did it, they all do it. They all want a break, and then they realize that they can't live without it because they're just fucking competitive
Yeah, but
beasts.
that's an easy way out, Rock, because you can't just leave a club and then go to another club next year. I could understand if it was you move away for 1 or 2 years away from football, pretty similar to what Essendon's coach is at the moment. Move away, get away from football, digest it, have a look at it, and then go back to coaching. But
So you reckon they should red flag him? Maybe they should say, "Hey, he's a red flag or a red card. You can't play football, train another team for the next couple of years." Maybe.
No, you can't
Maybe.
do that because it's an individual thing. No, but I reckon sometimes, Mark, let's think about it. Someone gets like how long's he been at the club, Hardwick? I don't know why we're talking about Hardwick. How long was he at the club, Quinn?
13 years.
All right, so sometimes people get burnt out, mate. Like their whole message is not getting through. You know what I mean? Players aren't listening anymore. It doesn't matter how great you are. If you keep hearing the same thing, maybe it's not working. So he wants to go. All I'm saying is I noticed then after like 6 months or whatever, coaches realize, yeah, I wasn't getting it there, but I need that buzz again. You know, I need to go somewhere else. So I reckon that's what happens. You know what I mean?
well, you should have
Does
stayed to
Hardwick need to go to Gold Coast? I'm telling you, if you go to Gold Coast, I reckon it's a death penalty to you, mate. Like, I don't know, man. Like, that'll be one of the toughest gigs to go to. You got to go over there. It's hard to retain players. Man, it's just a hard gig. The only good thing would be going to bloody Dream World every day. That's the only good thing you'd have. Like,
Hey, the AFL will make sure that they will push as hard as they can to make the
the Suns.
Gold Coast team bigger and better.
Well, they own the Suns. They own them.
Yeah,
they do. And they might do that, but it's all up to Hardwick now. Like, is money that important to you? Like, the
We're
bloke's
speculating.
millionaire.
Yeah, well, we're speculating. Don't worry about Hardwick now. Let's move on. You know, I mean, good luck to the Suns. You know, it was the Magpies that basically made sure that the decision was made. Of course, it was the Magpies that made sure it was made, and that was the end of that. You know, something to move on.
I don't get something, Manny. We bring up a point, we discuss it, and then halfway through it, you go, "Oh, well, this is the point we're fucking discussing,
you know,
mate." So we're discussing it. So don't tell me about the Magpies. No one gives a shit about it. Magpies are irrelevant. Magpies are irrelevant to everyone but you. Trust me. No one gives a shit about your shit side. Everyone hopes they fail. So at the moment, we're talking about sacked coaches and we're talking about things. So shut up about your shit side that no one really cares about.
All I'm saying is, you know, I agree with you. He was there for a long time. He didn't do much. Time to go.
Yeah, I know. We're just saying about how he got rid of and about now. And now let's talk anyway. How about us free talk? All right. Our Gold Coast, Quinn, you're a bit more, well, you're twice as intelligent as them too. How relevant are they to the AFL? Or to the AFL like public,
yeah, to the AFL broader community, not very. They're kind of a team that no one's got really any feelings towards or emotions for. Like you don't care if they win or lose. You don't love them. You don't hate them. They're just kind of there in another game to play. I saw Sammy D post in the comments, Gold Coast is a waste of time. Other sports have failed up there. And it's true. Other sporting codes have tried and failed on the Gold Coast. I don't know what the future holds for the footy club, but it's a real interesting conversation because, yeah, it's just irrelevant. And people on the Gold Coast don't care about footy either. The only ones that care about footy that live up there are probably people that move from Melbourne and need a new team to watch every week. So Yeah, they're irrelevant to put it bluntly.
Yeah.
And that's
Hey, how
growing.
about what's
And
that?
that's growing because a lot of people are leaving Melbourne and then going up there. So,
Yeah, but you still don't follow Gold Coast.
but if you don't follow anyone, Rocco, and you go up there, all of a sudden you might decide, you know what, I'll give it a go.
Yeah, but how many do that? Really, if you're going to move up to, you've already got a team. It's not like you're moving from Mars.
Yeah, but you know what I said? If you haven't got a team,
Nah,
if you haven't got a team, you go up there and you decide.
A loser like that, like they got nothing. They got zero. They don't give you anything. Like you don't even feel anything for them. Their song is shit. They're fucking the Suns. What a stupid nickname. Like their colors are shit. Their players are
How
shit.
long have they been in the comp now? What, 12 years?
Since 2010, I think. 2010 they came in, didn't they?
Yeah.
2010,
And they've never made
12 years, and they still really haven't made a dent at all.
But have they made finals yet?
No, never made finals.
So
and then you look at the Giants.
All you really need to do is get them to make the finals, and I reckon, people will start supporting. You got to make finals. In 12 years, if you don't make finals, it's a lot of investment for the AFL to spend all their money. They need to be competitive. They're like a space behind. So if they don't make finals the next couple of years, I reckon they'll probably look at getting rid of them, to be honest.
They've tried, mate. They've tried.
Hey, I like that. James Hood. I like that comment about James Hood has been seen at Dreamworld.
Yeah,
so what was he doing there?
Brisbane and Gold Coast, 1 hour distance, doesn't make sense why they can't get it together. No one leaves the Lions. Well, I think the Lions were the first one. Brisbane Lions, like that's different. It's a bit like Adelaide, but then to put that
Fitzroy.
And there was also Fitzroy. So you have how about we have the Tassie Suns, even though it doesn't make sense because there's no sun in Tassie. But I'm telling you, man, it's almost like you need to merge them.
Was it on this show we were talking about? I can't remember if it was here or somewhere else I heard. I think it might have been with you boys, but we're talking about Gold Coast Suns becoming just the Northern Suns. And instead of focusing purely on the Gold Coast, it's all the Northern states. So Darwin, all that. So that way all those Northern states have a team. And all of a sudden more people become invested.
Yeah.
We didn't actually talk about that. You must have talked about that on your show, but that's a bloody good point there, Quinn. I like that.
Northern Suns.
The Northern Suns. That makes sense. And then you can have a whole bloody half of Australia.
Darwin, Northern Territory.
Darwin. Then you can have the Darwin. You can have that side of it happening too, with all the Aboriginals and all that, and have like a whole. That's not a bad idea. Quinn.
Well, and like the way.
What do you mean holding out on us for? That's a bloody
not just a pretty face, boys. I got some intelligence back here somewhere, but just like Hawthorn play home games in Tasmania, the Suns can stay in the Gold Coast. That can be their home ground, but they can play games up in Teo Stadium, and they can play games in Cairns, and that can bounce around a little bit throughout the year because I don't think anyone's going to hold too much of a grudge if the Suns don't play too many home games in Gold Coast, let's be honest. So they can bounce around those northern states a little bit, and that way you include everybody and you get a bigger fan base.
Now,
Dwayne said it. That's it.
They reckon Dwayne Russell put it on SEM, but he got it off you. So this Dwayne Russell either has been, get off the radio. No one gives a shit about you. I'm just going to put up this one here. Indigenous people, Rocco, please. Okay. Yeah. I did say Aboriginals. I'm sorry. I don't know if that's wrong now. I'm now lost because I don't even know what to say anymore. But you knew what I meant. Indigenous people. So relax, everyone.
No. It's good to see you being corrected there, Rocco.
I didn't know that Aboriginal people was something
Indigenous.
wrong. But Indigenous. Yeah. So I'll how about First Nation then? Anyway, you knew what I meant. We could get the whole side there going. That's a bloody good idea. I like it. I like it. All right, I got one more question. This was supposed to be last week, but I forgot, and this was about the cricket. But I think it kind of it goes into other sports too. There was that thing about Bairstow, the cheating English people, even though they won this week. I think they're a bunch of duds anyway, right? They're a bunch of bloody criminals that were sent here. But they were saying this about the spirit of the sport, the spirit of the sport. I just want to know your opinion, guys. What does that mean?
Look, I'm not a. I watch the cricket and I enjoy it, but I'm not as passionate about it as I know you are, Rock. So maybe I'm missing a thing or two here. But if it's within the rules, what's the spirit of the game? I'm agree. What is the spirit of the game? If it's within the rules, it's fair game. You're allowed to do it. And the thing I found interesting with this whole situation as well was the hypocrisy coming from the English team when Johnny Bairstow himself has done something very similar multiple times. Stuart Broad, we only go back to when he didn't walk all those years ago. They're very rich to be talking about spirit of the game, and they do the same things themselves. But look, I think if it's within the rules, that is the spirit of the game. It's within the rules. You're allowed to do it.
That's what I'm thinking.
Are we talking more about the fact that the Aussie team, after the second win, they were walking down that hall and they go up the stairs, and you had all those.
But that's what happened afterwards with the members, and they're another bunch of pricks there. Like
that's what I'm saying. You know,
they were actually being racist to one of our people, and that. So we'll forget about that. I'm just talking about the game itself, right? So there is a particular rule, and let's put it into any game. There's a particular rule that's part of the rules, right? You implement it, and then they go, oh, but that's not in the spirit. Well, I can't comprehend what the spirit of the game means. Like what? So I shouldn't do it, but it's in the rules. And in cricket, there's a few rules like that. Oh, man catting. Man catting. Like, oh, that's not in the spirit, but it's there. It's there. Like, why can't I use it?
What was it? Was it body line?
Body line, very good, Manny. Body line in the 30s with Bradman, they couldn't stop him making runs, so they implemented a game plan where they would just bowl at the body. All they did was bowl at the body. And then they actually changed the rules, and since then the rules have changed. But was that in the spirit of the game?
Well, there you go.
You know what I mean?
So
the question is, what is this? Why are we throwing this around now? The spirit of the game. Like, it blows my mind.
Well, I was trying to think of a situation where it would happen in footy, like a certain rule that you could maybe take advantage of and people would question it. But there's probably not too many rules where you can think of that where it would implement. But it's the same thing. If there's a way in football that you're going to get the upper edge and give yourself every chance to win, you're taking it 10 times out of 10. Yeah. There's no, I don't want to upset the opposition. It might not be super fair. Man. It's within the rules, mate.
Yeah, just like
I'll give you one in football. Sorry, Mark. Go.
It's just like kicking the ball after the siren. It's within the rules, but it's not the spirit.
Mark, you got a lot of slack from that, so I would stop that right now. You got no idea about that. But that's not the same because that is a rule. Yeah, but what? You don't take the kick.
No, well, it's not in the spirit of the game. When the siren goes,
it is. It is. That is in the spirit of the game. I'll give you one. When Hawthorn did it, was it in that grand final when they kept handballing it? Hodge did it. He kept handballing it. Deliberate, and he kept running it in. No, he kept running back in and wasting time, And then they changed it and they made it into a deliberate. That was part of the rules. You could do that.
Yes.
Was that in the spirit of the game?
No.
Right, but you would still do it if it mean you win the game.
Exactly right. That's what I was going to say.
Every day of the week.
Joel Bowden did it, Mark. Joel Bowden did it against Essendon as well. I reckon it was in the last quarter 5 or 6 times. He just walked back over the line and took the kick in again from full back.
That's not in the spirit of the game.
Well, I tell you what, Mark, I've got a good one for you. On Saturday night, your 50th birthday, big occasion, I'm bringing a big buzzer with me. When I press that buzzer, if I see you have one more drink after that buzzer goes, mate, that's not within the spirit of the game. I'm snatching it out of your hand and we're calling it a night, all right? Now we're going to play. We're going to bring a siren with us to your birthday.
Well, Enzo comes up. I believe in footy, if you're playing for free kicks, they say it's not in the spirit of the game. And he's correct there. Is that in the spirit of the game when you're raising your arm to get like a high tackle? Like, you open up a can of worms with these people and your spirit of the game. If it's in the rules, it's in the rules, man. And as a player and especially as a coach, I'm telling you, no coach gives a shit about rules. No one. All they care about is winning the game, mate. And if they can get away with it, they will. So you English people who are saying about the spirit of the game, can you please go back to your own country and leave us alone here? No, we love you all. You can all stay.
Well, the Poms won the third
well,
test, so be careful.
Yeah, I did. Like I said, just quickly as well, Wayne made a good point in the comments as well. He said, why they're having a go at us, there should be an issue with the umpires. And that's the same, Rocco, as the the ducking for free kicks and all that sort of stuff. Don't take it out on the players. If the umpires fall for it, then blame them. They're just trying to milk the rule. And yes, I agree. It's not, no one likes to see it. Like when, Ginnivan was ducking his head and everyone was complaining. But at the end of the day, he was getting free kicks for it and kicking goals. So who's laughing? Him. None of us.
Trying to avoid getting punched.
What was that? Sorry?
He was trying to avoid getting punched. So,
Who's that?
course, instantly, if something's coming at you, what are you going to do? You're going to try and duck. So, it's just
Not
the way
the
it is.
spirit of the game.
Not in the spirit of the game.
Not in the spirit. So I reckon the spirit of the game, I reckon we take that phrase out of sport because because what they're saying is it's part of the rules, but how about you give us a bit of a go?
Maybe the word sportsmanship.
Well, that's the same, but.
Well, no, sportsmanship is a little bit different, I think.
Like how?
It's a sportsman between between the players. When they get too technical afterwards, they say that you're trying to cheat it. I mean, it's I don't know. It's similar.
I think it's the same word.
I actually agree with you, Manny, on that one. I think you can draw a bit of a line between the difference. I think like sportsmanship, for example, is after the game, if you don't shake someone's hand, that's bad sportsmanship. Or if you bump someone near the boundary line and they fly into the fence, obviously you didn't mean it. You might just go give them a pat on the ass and say, sorry, mate. Like, because it's those sorts of things that are outside of the passage of play. I think that can be considered sportsmanship. But if we're putting him in the same category as the spirit of the game and, maybe edging it the rules, then I think you got to throw it out the window. But I think with little things like just shaking your hand and all those sorts of things, we got to keep that.
And fair enough. And we do a lot of that in sports now where, like I've played cricket and all that, and we always end up shaking hands at the end of the game, man, and you make sure they only once or twice I haven't shaken someone's hand and they deserve it and stuff them, right?
Was that in the spirit of the game?
What's
that in the spirit of the game?
When I didn't shake their hand?
Yeah.
Yeah, but there was like a bit of like stuff going on during the game, which I thought was absolutely. I mean, things were said and that, so that's when I thought, mate, you don't even deserve my handshake.
So obviously, it wasn't in the spirit of the game. So what he did was in the spirit of the game, and then you decided, you know what?
It had nothing to do. It had nothing to do with the game. It had nothing to do with the game.
But you should have shaken his hand. That's it.
Now, what if I call you? If I insult your family and that you think then you deserve a handshake after that? Let's be serious, Manny. But this is what I'm saying. There's only been, but apart from that, like in our sports and that, we're always, we always end up, and they do it with kids, which I completely agree. But during the game, to me, mate, if that's the rule, you're going to push it all the way to the end. And the main objective is to win the game, full stop. That's it.
Yeah.
Case closed. I think I saw a comment in here. Anyway, let's get on with this. I actually put this on before, but I think we finish up. No complaining, just toughen up when things don't go your way. And I reckon that's the way it should be. All right, let's get into what we're here for. Bada bing, bada boom. Manny, this has been your domain. Let's go into this.
All right, we've got the Magpies sitting pretty on top. We've got Essendon. Essendon in the 5th spot there. I apologise there, Mark. I thought you guys were still in the 8, and you played well this week. We've got and then we've got Carlton and Richmond. The irony, the two teams, first game, it was the draw. That draw, I think, is going to haunt both of your teams.
It already is, Manny. It's already haunting us.
There you go.
There you go. Could, but you could say that if we had lost it, we would have been another 2 points down. If we won it, we would have been 2 points up. I think, I think it might be close between Richmond and Carlton to get that spot. So at the moment, with our 3 60-point wins, we've moved up to 107%, which is makes a big deal. And user at about 96 or whatever you are. So a percentage between us is going to count now. And plus,
Carlton supporters, Rocco, sorry to interrupt. Carlton supporters have been daring to dream, is what I've heard them say. Daring to dream.
Is that like user daring to dream to actually win a grand final?
Hang on. You know what? 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, the only thing you could dare to dream about is maybe, I don't know, because there was nothing there. Now, the last 3 weeks, as you mentioned, you guys have been winning by 60 points. Why shouldn't you feel confident? I mean, I could see a different attitude by, dare to dream. Why not? You've got to believe.
No, I don't dream, mate. At night, I live realities, mate. I go into another world and I live reality. I don't dream like you. Anyway, let's go into this first game. Here we go, Quiddy.
Go the Tigers!
88 to 11,975, and yous were looking not too good at the start, but you came back. You came back a nice little win there.
Tell you what, the first half I was thinking, geez, it's another repeat of the week before. I thought you were kidding me. We're going to get pumped again. But no, we I was actually impressed by how we're able to turn the tides a little bit there. Normally we just drop our heads and sort of let the other team roll us, but we turned the thing around, and Dustin Martin stepped up, had a great game. Shea Bolton stepped up, had a great game. Nate Curvis, apart from knocking a bloke out and missing 3 weeks now, he had a great game. So it was good to see. And then to come home strong, which notoriously we struggle when the game is close towards the end. We actually did all right. Manny secretly loves Carlton. Onion Matul. I reckon he does.
I do. I do have a soft spot for Carlton. I do.
I know you do.
Yeah, I do.
No regrets.
It takes a great to understand a great.
I will watch your face cry. No regrets, man. I know who you are, man. Seriously, I'd be looking in the mirror and watch yourself cry every fucking night, mate. Seriously. You're the most fucking successful side, and you keep coming up. You're 1-0, mate. You've got the same amount of fucking cups as we have this year. So please, I'd shut up, because if you don't, I'd be coming in front of your place and giving you a hammering after you lose that final. So let's get back to Richmond here.
Hey, Quinny,
please.
Quinny.
Yeah, Mark.
Why now?
Why
now? Why the last 4 or 5 weeks you guys are winning? Well, what's going on? Why now? You've lost your coach. Previous coach.
We're
got
putting
a
on
substitute coach, and you're winning games. What's the reason for it? Is it because they're playing for what? Who? When? How?
We're putting on a good performance, so Dimmer will come back, because he'll see some hope. So he'll come back.
Great. Oh, mate.
No one's talking about Dimmer coming back to Richmond. No, I don't know. I don't know.
That could be in the
why the last since Dimmer's left, they've won the last 4 to the last 5 games. Why?
Yeah, we've lost 2 games with the new coach. That was Port Adelaide by 10 points, and we got pumped last week against Brisbane. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what it is. I think the most impressive thing, Mark, is not only are we winning though, we've had a lot of close games, and as you would all know, Richmond blow those close games and can't seem to get over the line. And we've actually been winning those and turned that around a little bit. So I'm not sure what it is. I think Lou's got an idea here saying, game plan is in order now. We do seem a little bit more switched on game plan wise. Maybe players a bit freer to do what they want to do. I couldn't put a finger on it.
Yep.
I think the biggest issue we've had.
Yep.
Yeah, sorry. I think the biggest issue we've had all year is our capacity to score and keep the ball inside 50. And without Tom Lynch, it's bloody hurt and been tough. And I think that still hasn't improved. But I think everything else, including our centre clearance work, has all gotten a lot better.
So you keep your coach?
I like him. I mean, I want to wait for the rest of the season to pan out and see how we go. Like if we could lose the next 6-7 games in a row, you know what I mean? So I want to wait and see. But I like McWalter. He's been there for 10 years now, so he knows the club inside out. The players already like him. He's got the rapport. He doesn't need to worry about building that. You know what to get from him. So look, I'd like to see him take over at this stage. It's a long way to go, though.
Yep,
I think there's a bit of a
there's a bit of hope there.
coach. What's when the coach comes in? What's that called? A caretaker. I think there's a bit of a caretaker coach kind of a phenomenon there, where teams seem to just relax and play their natural game. And what I did speak to a couple of ex-players, and I spoke to one a couple of weeks ago who said what happens is everyone loves the assistant coaches because they're helping the whole team. You know, you've got your favorite assistant coaches. Not everyone loves the senior coach because he's making those decisions and he's doing all that. When an assistant coach comes in, they all love him. No one hates assistant coaches. And so you get that kind of release. So that's what I think's happened. As far as do you keep that coach, Mark? Come on, premature. One thing that teams can't do, and we're guilty of this, is Quinn. I know you say you like him, right? But the process has to be done properly at the end of the year.
Yes.
Right? You can't just chuck him in. We still have to go, and I'm talking like I'm a Richmond supporter now. We still have to do the process properly and make sure we get the right person in there. If that's not done, all you're doing is you're going to fall into you might fall into another trap again. Is he the right person? Is he the right person out there? And is he the right person for your team? That's what you've got to do. You did it with Hardwick. I'm telling you, just because he's coaching these 12, 13, 14 games, that doesn't stop you going through the right process at the end of the year. And he has to understand that.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. I think I'm pretty sure.
Maybe Ken Hinkley.
Hinkley could. Hinkley could be one. I'm pretty sure Brendan Gale was on Fox Footy last week, and I think he did say, Rock, that he goes, look, he's obviously in contention, but yeah, he will go through the process, which I like that the club's already come out and said that. So McWalter would be fully aware that he won't just walk into the job. He'll be doing,
as long as they go through the same. As long as they go through the process, man, I'm telling you, Hinkley might be the person, it could be anyone, but mate, if you don't build this foundation strong on a house, it's going to fall down eventually, Hey, Lou said, I meant the Carlton game plan. So what he was saying about your game plan. But in saying that, I think it also suits what Richmond's about. Their game plan seems to be like, falling into place now. That they seem to be playing a more daring, a bit more running game, I suppose. And it's all coming together. All right. Did you have something to say? You kept opening your mouth, or you just trying to get a breath there, Manny?
No, I was going to say that the fact that you've got this coach, the caretaker, and he's been under Hardwick for so many years. So when you're under someone like Hardwick, you're going to learn. So, the fact is that this guy, I mean, prime example is when you look at, Ange Postecoglou. He left Melbourne Victory, and he had one of the players that ended up taking over, and Melbourne Victory just continued on, and they did fairly well because he learned under Ange Postecoglou. Same thing with this caretaker. He's learned so many things over the years. So at the end of the day, if he's someone of a nice nature and the players are getting on well with him and the respect's there, why waste time? I mean, at the end of the day, you just don't know. It's trial and error. Carlton didn't know if they were going to do well when they bought that bloke from Brisbane, did they? No. So you just don't know. That's what I was going to say.
Okay.
I hear Quinn. Don't listen to Rocco. He still doesn't know the right person for Carlton. Let me tell you something, Rocco. No regrets. Tell me something. Tell me one thing I said that was wrong there.
Anyway, we'll let get back to us.
I could see how Manny straight away tried to defend him and then shut up because he knows.
No.
Anyway, one thing that I said that was wrong. What I said to Quinn, name one thing I said that was wrong.
I didn't say anything. All I'm saying is
All right,
get to the
good.
next game.
Shut up. Let's get
Let's
into
go.
this one here. There you go, Manny. Open your mouth. 11-11, 77. That was
Good
correct.
old Colin.
11-11, 77 to 13-11, 89. Here we go. Talk about irrelevant.
Forever.
It was a great game, great spectacle. The Bulldogs played some great footy in the first quarter, even in the second quarter. But then came around third quarter, and that was it. Collingwood just turned it on.
77, Lord Nelson.
You know, so
that was fun.
you know, but Collingwood did really, really well. Our defence performed really, really well. Noble, he was just amazing, and Quainer, he was on top of his game, absolutely brilliant. And then of course you've got the brilliance of Nick Dacos, you know, comes in the third quarter, you know, and those two brilliant goals by Nick Dacos. I mean, this kid's a superstar. He's an absolute superstar. Yeah. So, you know, and then we had, of course, Jamie Elliott, who, you know, towards the serious end of the game, the business, he's now starting to really get there. So we're slowly starting to become. We're forming, and also I want to say huge congratulations to the legend of the club, Pendlebury, a great icon, a gentleman, an amazing person, and you know, and breaking their record. So it's fantastic to see.
No, I reckon he's warming up that record at the moment, Pendlebury. He's warming it up for Nick Dacos, mate. Nick Dacos, by then he'll take over that record, I reckon. Fantastic player, Nick Dacos. So Pendlebury's got the record at the moment, but he's just warming that seat for Nick Dacos. Fantastic player. That's the only kind of
too bad he plays for your scum. Anyway, no one really cares anymore. As I said, as far as like Gold Coast being irrelevant, trust me, apart from you bananas, really Collingwood's irrelevant to everyone.
The only said was Hoskin Elliott injured himself, and that was he's going to be a bit of a miss for us. But then again, having said that, you know, we've got a number of players that are due to come back in. So, but it was a great game.
Who's due to come back in that's going to take his spot?
My only concern, Manny, is that obviously Collingwood's playing some great football, they're winning and so forth. They only won by a couple of goals, but it comes down to finals, yeah. So that's going to be the test. I just, for your sake, mate, I just hope they don't lose the first two games. They're gone.
What do you mean you hope they don't lose the first two games? Of course you hope they lose the first two games.
They deserve to be in the grand final because the way they're playing, you've got to give them credit for that. And I hate Collingwood with a passion, man. Don't get me wrong. And Carlton and Richmond. But at the end of the day, Collingwood's played fantastic all year. You can't go against that. But just be careful when it comes to finals and you're all cocky and you've won 14, 15, 16 games in a row. And some teams beat you, and you're gone.
All right, enough talk. As I said, you can only get enough of talking about that scumbag because seriously, I get heartburn even mentioning it. I hate zebras, let alone Collingwood. You know, so stuff them. And let's go to another team that's a bunch of drug cheats. 17-13, 115 to 15-7, 97. You were looking a little bit. They were coming back, but you've done well to finish them off strong at the end.
It's all about the 4 points, mate. And, you know, we should have won by at least 60 points. The downfall about Essendon at the moment is that when we're up by so much, we tend to let teams come back. Like if we're up by 45 points, 50 points, we end up winning by 24 points or 18 points.
Get ready for finals football, Mark. That's all you can say. Just get ready for finals football, mate.
Well,
I don't know about the other two,
but a few big games to go before I'm confident about the 8. But I'm still going to be confident about it in some ways. But I was at the game too. 40,000 Essendon supporters at the game at Marvel. Fantastic, great atmosphere. The crowd was going crazy. There's nothing better than going to the game with your kids and they're there and they're like, ball, and like, free kick, and there's a player got injured and Ridley got injured, and my daughter was going, oh no, not Ridley, and fantastic atmosphere.
I know you're talking to us three. I know you were saying that to Manny, but he doesn't. He can't understand the concept of what it feels like to be at a game. But I do understand, man, when you're there and your kids are screaming every time they touch the ball, and then that even sometimes when you're that much up, and then the siren rings, how everyone just jumps up. You've won it for the last 10 minutes, but that final siren gives you that.
And
that
you sing the song, and you enjoy it. And
hang on.
Nothing beats it,
You sing the song. Rocco doesn't sing the song. He said that the song 4 weeks ago.
I won't
we won,
but
I didn't sing the song.
Is that what I said, Is that what I said, Maggie?
Yeah, you did. You said the Carlton won that game, but you didn't sing the song.
That's right. But I never said I don't sing the song.
No, I said you won the game and you refused to sing the song.
No, I didn't refuse to sing the song.
Well, you didn't want to sing it.
I sat back and I enjoyed watching my son and everyone singing the song. There's nothing wrong with that.
It's not in the spirit of the game.
You know what's not in the spirit, Manny? Not buying a membership. That's not in the spirit. You know what's not in the spirit? Haven't been to a fucking Collingwood game for 2 years. Don't ever talk to me about what spirit is for Carlton, mate. I put in more into Carlton than you would ever put into your shit team. So just relax there about me sitting back, right, and watching my kids singing the song. So
I'm only quoting what you said.
Shut up. You actually said Rocco doesn't sing the song. You tried to put me under the bus by saying Rocco doesn't sing the song, and that was full of shit because I mentioned after our first win, after 6 weeks, I sat back and enjoyed everyone singing the song. So shut up and let's watch what a real team fucking looks like.
That's better.
Here you go. 6-9-45 to 14-98. Still inaccurate, but we'll just, because we've got to move on real quick, we'll just talk. There's not much to say. That
good on you, Carlton.
A 60-point win, going over interstate and winning against Fremantle, winning any side is always a good win. So our next challenge is next week.
Yeah. Well done. Dare to dream. Dare to dream.
I don't dream, Manny. I'm not like you, mate. I don't dream. I do.
Come on.
There's a difference between me and you.
That's
why I'm in this position. That's why I'm in this position and you're in that position. I don't dream. I do.
Nah, it's good to see Carlton win like that. It'll be a real.
No, it was good, and I think it's good for the comp, and it's good for I think if we notice the ladder there, I think there's maybe 3 or 4 sides outside the 8 now that can actually make an impact, and apart from that, I think everyone else is done.
Your test will be next week, mate. Your test will be next week.
Our test is in the 2 of the next 3 weeks. So we got Port Adelaide, West Coast, and then Collingwood. I'm not really worried about Collingwood because really, as I said, irrelevant to everyone except for people like Manny. But I'm ready to take on Collingwood any day of the week. But we'll take one game at a time. And this week against Port at Marvel, I think we're going to get 50,000. It's on Saturday. It's before your party. So I'll be coming as a victor to your party.
All right, sold out. The game's sold out.
Is it?
Yeah.
Sold out.
Anyway, I'm going to go with Lou. Baggers are coming straight, 10 straight. I'm taking that every day of the week. All right, let's get into this one here because we have to move. Jesus Christ.
We're running out of time.
Let's go into this one here. All right. Let's get into this quickly.
All righty, let's fly through these ones. Tomorrow night, the Thursday night footy is continuing. We've got the Swans taking on the Dogs at the SCG. Who are you going with, boys?
I'm going to go Swans. I think they'll come back. I think it's tough to beat them over there, regardless. Dogs are going all right, but Swans for me.
Swans for me too. Straight up.
Swans for me.
I'll go something different then. I need to catch up. I'll go Dogs.
You do need to catch up, man. You do need to catch up.
I do.
So Swans, and Dogs. All right, next game.
All right, we got the D's taking on the Lions at the MCG, and we know how Brisbane are at the MCG.
I know that's the only issue, man, because the Demons aren't playing that well. But you know what? I'm going to go Lions.
Melbourne for me.
Melbourne?
Yeah, it was going to be a flip of the coin for me, but it's not going to be. It's Melbourne for me.
I'll go Brisbane.
All right, 2 and 2. All right, let's go. Next one.
All right, we got Collingwood taking on Freo at the MCG Saturday afternoon. And, I mean, we all know the answer for this one. Yeah, Collingwood for me, as much as I hate to do it.
Nah, well, you got to go for where you got to go. Then there's no chance they'll beat Collingwood, and not at the MCG. No chance.
No way.
Next
All
one.
right, well, we keep moving. Gold Coast take on St Kilda up in Gold Coast, Heritage Bank Stadium, and I'm going the Suns. Teams bounce back after their coaches get sacked.
I'm doing exactly what you're saying, man. I reckon that caretaker coach first week is a big influence there.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So I'm going Suns.
You guys?
I was going to go exactly the same way, but St Kilda.
Oh, all right.
Don't mind that.
Hey, I'm going to go St Kilda too.
All right, I like this.
Good too. Very split round. I'm liking this so far. All righty, we got Carlton taking on Port Adelaide at Marvel Stadium. Port have won the last 9 games in a row at Marvel, and I think they're on a 13-game winning streak at the moment. So you could say they're due.
Devil's number.
You could say that they're due, and Carlton are coming off 3 or 4 in a row now, so they're flying at the moment. Big game. Who we got, boys?
Well, yeah, I'm going Carlton.
It's a draw.
Oh,
right.
We haven't had that yet.
No,
Flip
we
the
haven't
coin.
had that yet.
Mark's
Flip
flip of the
coin.
coin.
I like it.
Tails.
What's that mean?
Port Adelaide.
Oh. And you?
I'm gonna go.
I said the draw.
No, not you. Quinn.
I'm gonna go the Blues.
Oh, I like it.
Now, if it ends up being a draw, do I get 5 points?
Yes.
Yes, you do.
I need it.
I know you do.
I'll go a draw for every other match of the round, then we'll see how we go.
Until we get one. That's it.
I'll cut my losses. Well, speaking of, we have Geelong playing the Bombers, Mark, during your birthday celebrations. And what a birthday present this will be, having Geelong knock your boys off down at GMHBA.
Oh, mate, if I tell you, if they pull this game off, mate, there's going to be a lot more bourbons and scotches and tequilas going through the roof.
I reckon there's
One
still
thing-
going to be.
One thing that pisses me off, and we might have to talk about it next week, is about the home ground advantage. Why are we playing Geelong with 19,000 capacity, we should be at the MCG? All right, so we've got to start making.
Let's put that on the agenda for next week.
It's ridiculous, mate. If you've got a home ground advantage, why we play? Look, 19,000 people are going to be at GMH Stadium.
Hey, Mark, we'll put on the agenda for next week. Right, we're running out of time.
Right.
Anyway,
What are we going for here?
Geelong
Cats.
Everyone else, cats. Yeah. Hey, listen, I'm almost favouring Essendon. They're playing some decent football, but it's that home ground advantage that's going to get
19,000.
Yeah, I know.
All righty. Going, we don't have time. We've got 10 seconds to go before the show's supposed to be done. Adelaide take on the Giants, Adelaide Oval, and they don't lose there, so I'm going the Crows.
Adelaide for me.
Crows.
All righty. Next game. North Melbourne take on Hawthorn. It's probably North's best chance at a win, but I reckon Hawthorn will knock them off.
No, North Melbourne for me.
North.
I like
Yep.
it.
Hawthorn.
Risque.
Yeah, I'm going Hawthorn too. I just think that Hawthorn's a bit better. And the last one,
Prime time viewing this one. Sunday afternoon football, match of the round. West Coast take on the Richmond Tigers up at Optus Stadium. We know who I'm going for, so.
you wouldn't want to lose this, but
I was gonna say we've got the bye, but I thought no, my luck will lose and it'll bite me in the ass. So
because every once in a while these teams pull out a fucking miracle win, and they almost did it a couple of weeks ago.
they nearly beat St Kilda. You're right.
That's
You're right.
So nah, we're going for there. So
Richmond.
West Coast.
all right,
Only few wins for this weekend.
you going West Coast?
That's
No,
what I
Richmond. Only for Quinn
West
for this
Coast.
weekend, mate.
Oh, we're
West
playing
Coast.
West Coast, Mark. Come on.
I was gonna.
Now, what are
You know
you
what?
doing, Mark?
Richmond.
Mark's doing Richmond.
Yeah, so it's only Manny. All right, Manny just wants to fall more behind. He's going to go
Hey,
right behind there.
All
right.
I got 8 out of 9 last week, mate. Show us the ladder.
8 out of 9. What makes you think that?
No, he did.
You did, I know.
He did. That's the first time you've been ahead. But let's have a look at the score anyway.
Oh, no.
Quinny's on 86. Manny's on 88. So he gained 1. Rocco and Mark both got 7. And you're only just 4 points in front. So I'm slowly catching you, mate.
Hey.
And I reckon this week I'm going to take
Sorry.
over.
The draw is going to make me catch up and maybe slightly even overtake you guys.
You won't overtake, but a draw, I don't think it's going to happen. But anyway, guys, hey, listen, it's been great. 2 minutes over now. Wow, I know. Regrets. Listen, you're a dud. I don't like you, but nice guy, Joe. You'll stay safe and warm. He is one of our favorites. All right, guys, thanks for coming. This has been a good show. Make sure everyone catches now the interview. We did have Big Red Lance Whitnell. We interviewed last week. So everyone catch. It's a great story. Talk about disrespectful of a captain once they leave. You've got to see the interview to see what happened to him once he left the side. So everyone, make sure you catch that, and we'll see you next week. How's that sound? And Mark,
Bye.
happy birthday, brother.
Thank you, guys.
Happy birthday,
Appreciate it.
Mark.
Guys, and one more.